everybody? Welcome to a Monday morning edition of Box Seats. I'm your host, Frank Holder. I am here with the comedians known as Talent, Rodney Perry, and Fig. These comics have been all over the world. They've been in comedy, been in, comedy films, comedy festivals, comedy commercials. They've been in everything related to comedy, and now they are joining us in a sports talk show. We talk about sports and everything else. We just have a great time about all of that. So without further ado, let me see. First of all, how you guys had a great weekend or not? So, Talent, yeah.
Oh yeah. Weekend was stupendous, man. I mean, it started before the weekend. From Wednesday to Sunday, I'm good. 7 out of 8 sold out shows. I can't ask them on that.
Oh yeah, that's dope. Fig, how was your weekend?
Hey man, listen. 6 in a row. That's all I'm gonna say right there. 6 in a row. I'm happy.
That means your weekend was good, I guess. Okay, Rodney Perry, how was your weekend?
Pretty good actually. I was in Texas and bouncing around to a couple of Houston and Austin and Texas. Great weekend.
That's great to hear. It's great to hear. Got to start off on some bad news. I'm not going to do a COVID report today, but let me start off with the first news and saying that there was a shooting over the weekend and it killed the top prospect, literally in football. His name was Willie Simmons III. He was supposed to go for North Texas, but people were saying he was so good that he was literally going to play maybe 1 or 2 years and then possibly go pro. He got killed in an apartment complex in Austin, Texas over the weekend. He was 1 of 3 people killed. And we all know what's going on in this country with these mass shootings and things like that, bro. So, Talent, I'm going to give you the mic. You can start out first. You can tell me your thoughts when you hear about something, really bad like this, man. This country.
Well, first of all, you just broke that news to me because I knew about the shooting, of course, but I didn't know it was this prospect was 1 of the 3. Just finished reading the story though, and the story is horrendous, man, because this is back to back to back to back.
Right.
And it's coming too much of the norm in any case, sports or no sports. Like it's really horrendous, man. It's becoming the norm, which we got to get a grasp on, man. You know what I mean? We can't let our emotions ride as high as to the point where now what I do know is they caught the guy this morning walking along the road, and come to find out he's a former sheriff's department detective.
Right.
And the sad thing that bothers me about the thing is he had just been charged with some child molestation thing this past June.
Right.
So this plot is thickening by the moment, right?
Yeah,
but it's horrendous.
The story continues to develop. Fig, what you think?
Man, I echo what Talent said, man. It's becoming far too current, far too many times that we just hearing, these mass shootings in America, man. It's far too frequent. And it's sad when you have to have a loss of life, through something like this, man. It's almost leaves you at a loss for words, you know what I mean? But unfortunately, it seems that some people are becoming desensitized to the murder of innocent people in this country, man. It's mind-boggling, man, really mind-boggling. But I'd like to give some advice. I'd like to say to anybody who feels like they want to kill somebody and then commit suicide after, I would like them to try to kill yourself first and then try and shoot people afterwards.
Only Fig can say that. Rodney Perry, what's your thoughts?
Well, I'm just reading the story as I was listening to my esteemed colleagues make their comments, man. And one thing that's glaring to me, this guy's a black guy, that's the suspect in this case. And not that you don't see this, but you kind of don't see this among us. And so that's disturbing in itself. And the crazy part, I was in Austin this weekend. So, I was probably way closer to this than I would like to be as well. And I think Tyler said it best, man. It's easy to start to dismiss this stuff because we hear it so much. It's easy to go, well, that's another mass shooting. But, it's a lot, and I think, this is becoming the norm,
Right.
And my children go through things in their school, like if an active shooter is on the campus, how to react. and they have to learn that now. That's a reality. So it's a tough thing, and we as a country need to figure this out.
Yeah, the funny thing is what you just said, Rodney, is really crazy because at the end of the day, when I was a kid, you had to learn how to do the fire drill. Now the kids got to learn how to do a fire drill, and if there's an active shooter, and that's insane to me, man. I mean, the world we live in now, bro, this is crazy.
I didn't even, Frank, I didn't even consider what Rodney was saying, that kids have to learn how to prepare for an active shooter. When we was coming up, our biggest worry was the bully seeing you at 3 o'clock.
Yeah. I mean, that was a concern. Yeah, but now it literally is an active shooter, and it could be anywhere, anytime, any place. So
yeah,
that's the concern. Now moving on, I want to talk about boxing because we all saw the news over the weekend that Jake Paul knocked out this Ben Askren, in the first round. Talon, I'm gonna start with you, man, because this Jake Paul kid is now considered to be a pro. He's a YouTube star, and he's considered to be a pro. But he's having fights, in boxing rounds with guys who are not pros. Do you think Jake Paul should now be considered a pro and be fighting only pros now? Or because the Nate Robinson thing and the guy that he just did, Ben Askren, he was a UFC fighter. He's not even close to being
right.
What you think?
I don't think he should be considered a pro, but I think by all means, let him in the ring with pros. Mm-hmm. Whether you registered or not, it don't matter. The other guy's registered. Set the fight up, let him feel some of those pro blows, right? And then let him, because sometimes, like you said, everybody got a plan until they get punched in the face. So right now it's going good. You got a couple of wins. You knocked out Nate Robinson. Ooh. I seen Muggsy Bogues knock out Nate Robinson. So that's nothing. Let him get in. I say, if you want to go pro, set up a few exhibitions with some real pros, right? And if, let's say you give him 3 to 5 fights, see where you fare in those fights before you even sit down and consider, okay, let's sign this guy up to go pro.
All right. Well, I will say this. Nate Robinson did say this morning, he put out a release through First Take that Fig, he's down to have a rematch because he's going to get trained by Floyd Mayweather and everything else. So my question to you, Fig, is Jake really a pro? Should he be considered being a pro, or should we just continue to let him have to do these things he's doing?
I'd like to give an analogy. Here's how you consider whether he's pro or not. Let me play one-on-one basketball with a couple of third graders, and if I win, consider me for the NBA draft. Because that's pretty much what it is, man. This guy, he's bigger, he's stronger than the people that he's fighting. They're not pros. You know what I mean? They're just regular guys who's getting in the ring for an exhibition. He's winning, exhibition fight. Now you want to consider him as a professional fighter? That's ridiculous, man. He's not a professional fighter. Let him fight somebody who really fights, and then we'll see how good he is.
All right. Rodney Perry, your thoughts on this?
I disagree with my colleagues, man. Look, what's the definition of professional? Getting paid to do what they're paying you to do. He's going in the ring, boxing, and the pay-per-view boasts $75 million. He a pro. He a pro by virtue of money alone. Now, can he hang with guys that's been in the ring, his size, his weight? Probably not. But I tell you what, he keep logging in these $75 million paydays. I'll fight him. I'll fight him for 75. I'll fight him for $2 million.
I like what Fig said, because this reminds me of that episode of Seinfeld where Kramer was doing karate with those kids. Kramer was doing karate with all these little kids. He was coming back. He was moving up real fast. It was like, yeah, I'm crushing the class. When they went to the class, the kids had to jump him. Fig got a point. And both of you guys got a point, because Rodney's right. By virtue of the word professional, what makes you a pro is the money you can command. You get paid to do what you do. But in some instances, being a pro is passing a certain protocol too. So it's like a cop. Like, okay, just because I pay you to walk around with a gun, don't make you a cop.
Yeah, but here's the thing.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, but here's the thing, and I want you guys all to think about this thought. The word came out Sunday, and a couple of people commented on this. They're thinking that this Jake Paul kid, he should turn pro because he could save pro boxing. Pro boxing haven't had numbers like the way they had on weekend since Mike Tyson. That's what they're saying right now. So he should become pro is the thing. It's because they want to, obviously they want to get the WBA, the WBC people to get it around and get some money through pay-per-view because let's be honest, when was the last time a pro heavyweight person actually was helping out? We haven't had that since Tyson. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Is he a heavyweight?
Grand opening, grand closing. You go pro, grand opening, grand closing.
Yeah, that's true. What you gonna say?
It just reminds me of the movie The Great White Hype. That's basically what this is. Everybody want to see this dude fight. He knocking out nobodies and until he get a professional fight, and then he gonna get in there and fighter ain't even gonna train and knock this bum completely out.
But guess what? He is saving professional boxing though with the numbers. If he takes the numbers he's getting right there, Rodney Perry, tell me I'm wrong. The numbers he got over Saturday, the numbers he's getting, if he can bring that transcend that, those numbers have not been in there since Mike Tyson.
Yeah, I mean, you actually make a great point, Frank. But I mean, I'm not completely sold on it. I mean, okay.
On what, the numbers or him saving boxing?
With him saving boxing. I think, okay, you got Jake Paul, 15 million followers on Instagram, millions of followers on YouTube. It's like every other profession. The social media is becoming a part of it. So now you still got to go in the ring and fight. So he's been taking these exhibition fights, which are really against other actors and other influencers. So you get in there with a real boxer, challenging their career, challenging their blood, sweat, and tears. He might get himself hurt. Or they've been trying to find the great white hype for years.
Yeah.
Facts.
So they've been since Rocky Marciano, they've been trying to find a white fighter that was worth a damn. So they might build him up like he's some.
Yeah. Don't grand opening, Frank, you care about saving the sport. Save this man's life. Because you throw him in there with some real heat.
But
you go down with that 35 minutes.
Wait. Can I ask a question? Talent. Did you watch the fight, Talent? Did you watch the fight? You paid for it? You went to pay-per-view and you bought the fight?
See, now you're getting personal.
Okay. Frank, did you watch it?
I mean, yes and no. I watched it when I saw the review on ESPN. I didn't pay to see it, so I saw it on ESPN.
Did you pay to watch it, Rodney?
I wouldn't be a part of that. No.
I didn't pay to watch it either.
Right.
Yeah, but here's the point. Here's the point I'm trying to make. The WBA and WBC are saying right now that they think this kid can save boxing. They're not talking about the results of what's going to happen. They're talking about the views and the people who will pay to watch the fight. That's the point they're trying to make. That's the point I'm making, because at the end of the day, if all those people, they had 75, 80 million people watch that. Maybe we didn't watch it, but 75, 80 million people tuned in, and it made a boatload of money.
Yeah, you got to join somewhere. That's all I'm saying.
Y'all hear this part? So Pete Davidson hosted the event. Pete Davidson called the man out on a sexual allegation during the interview.
Really?
Yeah, I'm reading it right now.
I didn't even see that.
Pete Davidson called him a piece of shit and everything on the broadcast.
Well, all I know is this. I didn't know. Y'all forgive me. I did not know that boxing needed saving, because I always thought if you put the right two fighters together that people actually wanted to see, then people would watch it.
Yeah, no, it needs saving as in getting numbers, and they're trying to make money off the pay-per-view. They haven't made money on pay-per-view and any of that since Tyson. They just haven't. Because if we all remember, Mayweather's a middleweight. You know what I mean? Mayweather's not a heavyweight. So Mayweather helped, boxing in that sense, but not overall in heavyweight class. Let me move on to baseball, because some of these people here, some of these folks, some of my people on the screen right now are New York Yankees fans. And I got to ask you all officially, the Yankees have the worst record in the American League. And actually, they have the worst record in baseball. So I'm going to start with you, Talent. I'm going to say, what in the world is going on with the Yankees? And how soon before Aaron Boone, who is the manager of the Yankees, should he be before he gets on the hot seat?
I plead the fifth. I plead the fifth, sixth, and seventh. Can you do that? Well, first of all, as New Yorkers and Yankee fans, diehards, we're not happy at all. I think that he's already in the hot seat, whether it's public or not. I know how New York moves, and you're in the hot seat before you're in the hot seat. So I know he's in the hot seat now, and you're looking at the way the Yankees move in that organization. Middle of this season, bro, however many games that is, You're going to start to see it turn what we call virtual, as all the pundits and all the talking heads are starting to speak, because they're going to speak it into existence. They'll be out of here if they can't turn it around before the season's over.
All right, Fig, check this out. The Yankees' first baseman, Jay Bruce, retired right after the game. First baseman, he walked up the field and retired after playing baseball for 15 years because he didn't want to deal with the Yankees press and everything else. So again, how bad is it in New York? And is Aaron Boone going to be able to turn things around?
Listen, man, baseball is just exciting as it could possibly be. And this is just a little more exciting, This is par for the course for the Yankees to add a little more exciting, to have somebody talking about baseball. So they lose the first couple of games. I mean, we're in April. This thing is going to go, baseball season ends, I think, Christmas Day. So they're going to play another 2,000 games, and we're 20 games in, and we talk about the Yankees on the hot seat. They can literally be in first place by 32 games in June, and this is April. That's what I'm talking about baseball, man. I mean, I think now is a little too soon to be talking about baseball and people being on the hot seat, and it only is a weekend, and it ain't going to end until December 25th. When Santa Claus is coming down my chimney, this will be the day that they play the World Series.
Well, check this out. Rodney Perry, I'm going to throw it to you. Check this out. The Yankees being on the hot seat is coming from the New York press. The New York press, as you all know in New York, they're trying to get Aaron Boone out of there. Like, they're not wasting no time. Like, listen, it's literally, the Yankees are 5-10. They upset right now. They say, you know what? Aaron Boone got to go. Like Fig said, it's so early in baseball. So what do you think? What's your thoughts?
Of course it's early, but it's New York. New York is always, hey, yo, what's wrong? What's up with this guy? Yo, who is this guy? Get this guy out of there. So that's just a reality in New York sports. That's why it's the Mecca, even when their teams ain't shit. I'm sorry. I apologize. it's I mean, not for saying the team wasn't shit, but for cursing. No. The reason New York is relevant is because they're New Yorkers. They don't give a, they just want a great squad. It's one of those cities. We always talk about cities. New York is one of those cities where you must win. If you don't win, you will get the wrath of the city. Whether it's 5 games in, 2 games in, or 100 games in, New Yorkers want a why is this guy not winning? Get him out of here.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's how they are. That's literally how they are. Garrett Cole, who's starting pitcher for the Yankees, the big acquisition over the weekend, he hasn't won 1 game for him yet. You know what I mean? They're 5-10.
Get him out of here.
Yeah.
They get ready to... Why are you still here? Why is this guy still here? Hey, are you rooting for this guy? No, you're not. Get him out of here.
Yeah, that's how it is. That's New York for you right there. They don't play.
Hey, listen, I just did the math. 15 games out of 182, not including the postseason, is 12% of the season. And we're talking about canceling the whole season. Get them out of there. And they play 12% of the games already. Stop it.
Big talk to you, New York
you are right. But you know New York logic. Get him out of here.
Yeah, get to your Yankee reporters out there. That's the New Yorkers talking. If that was anywhere else, we'd be like, listen, it takes some time.
I'm telling the truth.
I'm appalled at these impressions. Do you hear these impressions?
Get him out of here.
All right, let me talk about
the Knicks.
Let me talk about the other big news on the weekend. Other big news on the weekend that actually just dropped off this morning is that Alex Smith announced his retirement before we jumped off. So, Rodney, Talent, what's your first thought on hearing Alex Smith retired?
Well, I guess, Frank, that thing, whatever that weird thing is that he went through, I guess is back. If Alex Smith says he's retiring, it ain't but 2 things that make you retire. Either people give you that option before they fire you, or you make a conscious decision like, you know what, it ain't there. For a full season and what that season is going to entail is not there. I'm going to call it quits. I would have loved to see the rest of the comeback story. I'm sure a lot of us fans of the game would have, but no one knows like the player.
Right.
That's your legs.
Right. But you know what? We're going to see him on ESPN probably at the start of the season. You know what I mean? One of those commentators talking about whatever and everything else because he knows football and he's well spoken. We'll probably see him there.
Put him with Tony Romo.
There you go. That's not a bad idea. That's not a bad idea. Fig, what's your thought about Alex Smith retiring from football?
Man, listen, I thought Alex Smith should have retired before he played last year, man. I mean, this guy, he had a horrific injury, infections. He had a halo around his leg. He was depressed, whatever. Almost, like I said, almost had his leg amputated. To go back out there in one of the most violent sports that we have today and to risk losing your leg for whatever glory is in the game, to me, is just not worth it. You know, for him to go back out there last season, it was just shocking to me. And, you know, one hit, he literally could have lost his leg. I'm actually glad that he decided to retire because as horrific as this game and violent as it is, you hate to see these type of injuries, these career-ending injuries, and having these players get hurt, you know, on this type of level. So I'm happy for him and his family, and hopefully he has a long, healthy life and is able to continue to walk on that leg without any problems.
Rodney Perry, your thoughts?
The thing about Alex Smith, and I'm an Alex Smith fan. I liked him when he was over there in San Francisco, when my man took his job. But here goes. Alex Smith is the best all-time okay quarterback. He's the best all-time okay. If you're looking for a guy that's just okay, Alex Smith is your guy. If you're looking for a guy that can dink and dunk you all the way down the field, Alex Smith is your guy. You're looking for a guy that manage the game and not throw no picks, Alex Smith is your guy. If you want him to be a big-time player, air it out, he's just okay. Just okay. Matter of fact, I understand that Alex Smith's wife say, you know, she have orgasm once a year. Just okay.
Rodney Perry, that was
man, that's grounds for divorce.
That's wrong.
Hey,
that's wrong.
once a year, that's a good day though. Hold
on. Once a year and $150 million in the bank. Don't forget about that part.
Just okay.
That's okay. All right, y'all. Let's move on. We got to talk about a couple things in the NBA. Don't worry, Fig. We're gonna get to the Knicks, even though we'll get there. Kevin Durant injured himself yesterday. I think, and I want to throw this out there because it's the biggest hot topic this morning in the NBA. I think Kevin Durant is going to be pretty okay. I think he's going to be on some management and everything else now, load management and rest. What you think, Talent?
Yeah, I agree with you. I think that, again, I'm going back to my original theory that whatever is ailing hasn't 100% went away. So I think we're looking at these little tweaks along the way. So they're going to be forced to load manage him. I mean, that's clear and apparent. You know what I mean? Even if he didn't re-injure himself, I think he was nursing something the way they brought him back. Because we all know when you come fully back from an injury, you back. But if you come back and we're chipping you in, then we're not really sure or we're taking our time with it. There's a reason for that. And I think that's what's going on.
Well, okay. Fig, your thoughts?
I don't know, man. I think they're being overly cautious with KD, man. I mean, I've seen guys bump knees or get hit in the thigh before in the NBA, and they shake it off and continue to play. He's just built different. You know what I mean? He just built different, man. A lot of these NBA players today, the things that keep them out, you know, for a certain period of time is just a new day and a new era, man. And they just get injured. I mean, they're always on the floor. I've never seen so many. Sometimes I think I'm watching boxing. Every time I watch an NBA player go up, he's on the ground. I'm like, why they keep falling down? They got some of the worst talent in all the sports. They always falling down. I don't understand it. I don't understand. I just don't. I'm sorry.
No, Fig, you said it perfect. You said he built different. That's what his barber said. We went to the barber shop. He said, "Hey man, you built different, bro. We're not gonna be able to help you in here."
Rodney Perry, what's your thoughts?
I got 2 words for you. LeBron James. He's saying, Rodney Perry, what you talking about? Stay with me. LeBron James is been resting for like 4 weeks. KD looking over like, LeBron ain't playing. Whoa. You know what? I ain't playing either. I ain't playing. If LeBron ain't playing, I ain't playing. We gonna load manage together. They are mirroring LeBron's injury. I don't know if y'all can see it or not. I called this was load management weeks ago. This injury load management. Nobody want to take the flack that your boy out the Clippers took by actively load management and telling people we load managing. And so they're using this injury load management now. I think it's not just Kevin Durant. I think it's happening all over the league, and it's the players kind of take control. Like, yo, yeah, I'm sick. I can't go.
Let me ask you all this question, because here's the thing that they were talking about this morning too, which is pretty interesting. KD named his top 5 players, right, that he liked, that he played with, and everything else. He left out Russell Westbrook, and I thought that was complete utter shade to the illest. You know what I mean? And he named everybody. But then when he got down to he said, yeah, everybody. He said, they said, well, what about Russell Westbrook? He said, oh yeah, I forgot about Russell Westbrook. Let me add him.
And he should.
Well, maybe he just forgot, Frank. Maybe he just forgot.
Challenge. I'm gonna ask you this realistically. Do you honestly believe that he just forgot? Come on.
I think it could happen. I've been in those top 5 conversations, and you forget somebody. Oh yeah, put him back in there. But maybe he forgot. But is it the top 5 as far as skill, or the top 5 as far as who he played with?
Five who he played with all time.
It's top 5 teammates.
Yeah, but that's shade. That's shade. That's shade.
Yeah, that's what I thought too. Fig, did you think it was shade or not?
Yeah, and rightfully so, because I believe that Russell Westbrook is the single most important reason why Kevin Durant left OKC. Because Russell Westbrook, in his mind, thought that he was better. The OKC management backed him and had Russell Westbrook handling the ball and taking the lion's share of the shots when the game was on the line. And KD, in my opinion, is miles better as an offensive player than Russell Westbrook, and he couldn't reel him in to have him play at a certain control level, and that was the reason why he left OKC, period. So if he wants to leave him out of the top players that he played with, then by all means.
That's what you do. Right, I agree with that. Rodney Perry, what's your thoughts?
This was clearly an accident. He didn't intend to leave out Westbrook. The scuttlebutt on Twitter is not even that. It was more egregious that he mentioned Kyrie and Harden before mentioning my man out in Steph Curry.
Mm-hmm.
And so that was the bigger story to some people, is that he mentioned Curry later. And so, I mean, when you do these lists, you run the risk of offending somebody. I don't think he intended, but I mean, your boy Russell is definitely probably a pain in the butt out of all of those people.
Yeah, but at the end of the day, he mentioned Kyrie and those guys first because you know why? He's playing with them now. That's all that was. You know what I mean? I think that's so everybody's going through all that.
Out of sight, out of mind.
Yeah, that's all that was. Let me talk about the other big story, and I'm going to start with Fig first because he's dressed for the occasion. The Knicks have finally won 6 in a row. I don't know. They said it hasn't been since what, the 70s? They won
2014.
Okay. Well, okay. That's close to the 70s. I'm gonna start with you, Fig. Tell me, is this for real? The Knicks for real? Because it looked like they put things together. They look like they adding stuff up. Looks like everything's happening in the right thing. And you know what, y'all? In case you're not paying attention and you're watching from home and you're not paying attention, they're making a nice run as we lead into the last month of the NBA regular season. So, Fig, I'm gonna start with you first. What's your thoughts?
I think the Knicks are overachievers. to make it into the playoffs with a young team, with a handful of veterans, some injuries. I attribute it to the acquisitions of some guys in the front office. Definitely Tom Thibodeau has these guys playing great defensive basketball, which turns into pretty mediocre offense. I think the Knicks are middle of the road team. They should make the playoffs, barring any horrific injuries, and that will be all. We are not in any stretch of the imagination thinking that this is a championship team, because it's not. We don't even have any players in their prime. The prime of an NBA player is 27. Our best player, which is Julius Randle, is 26, and the rest of them are a bunch of young rookies with a couple of old veterans. So we're not going anywhere. We'll make it to the playoffs. We may get out of the first round, and that will be all. And we'll see you next year. That's
if
it.
they get out of the first round, that means they would have beat one of the top seeds because they could barely get in. So that'd be huge.
We're number 4 now.
Yeah, we're gonna get in.
Place.
So go ahead, Tom.
We're gonna get in. We're gonna get in. First of all, we're gonna get in. We will win the first round, and then from there on out, it's all about execution and having good nights, man. Because when they are playing consistently like they are, the reason they got 6 in a row is because the continuity of the team is gelled perfectly. And if they can have those nights in round 1, the first round of the playoffs, I see them getting by 7-game series. Round 2 is where the real test will be at. And if they play like they're playing now, we can beat anybody. Facts.
Yeah. Rodney Perry, your thoughts?
This is the perfect opportunity for a scrappy team to be scrappy. You know, Thibodeau is the king of creating scrappy squads. And so that's what we're seeing out in New York right now. And it's just like I said in the other story. New Yorkers, y'all don't they're lucky. These guys are freaking lucky. How are they winning? I don't believe it. I'll be a believer when they make it to the playoffs. You know, really, guys. Okay. All right. They are still kind of horrible, but they're scrappy. And they're doing something not even the Nets are doing. They're playing defense. Defense wins games, guys. Defense wins games. And you don't have to be great on offense if you steal balls and make easy shots. I like
pause. Steal balls? Hold on.
You got to steal balls. And I don't know if you heard this new story that Alonzo Ball and his brother are hooking up with Dick Vermeil, and they got a new line of restaurants, clothing stores. So,
hey, they got a new line of restaurants, and they're smoking in. Come hang with the balls.
Hosted by Dick. Let me just say this. I'm gonna do my prediction right now. I think the Knicks are gonna definitely get out of the first round because they play. The thing is, you gotta beat the Knicks 4 out of 7 times. There's not too many teams in the East that's gonna be able to beat the Knicks 4 out of 7 times. The way they're playing defense right now, not too many teams. The Nets can. The Philadelphia 76ers can. I don't know how many other. Maybe
everybody else.
Not in the East. Not in the East, bro. The Atlanta won't be able to do
it. The Nets,
Atlanta's scrappy too.
Milwaukee.
Yeah.
Maybe Miami.
I'm not even giving Miami that because Miami, again, 4 out of 7. Miami could definitely beat them 3 games. Well, 4 games, the way the Knicks are playing defense, I don't know. I mean, we all know defense wins championships in the NBA. It just does.
And the playoffs crush bad teams.
Yeah, it does. And the Knicks is not a bad team. We're not talking about bad teams. But, bro, the stats, your record is what you are, point blank. You are what you are. That's been the old saying in the NBA for a long time. You are what you are. It ain't like you're going to be winning a whole lot of games that you shouldn't win or lose a whole lot of games you shouldn't win. No, that's just the way it is. I mean, at the end of the day.
I feel like you made up that old saying, though.
No, I didn't make it up. It's the same. I didn't make it up. I wish I had. I got paid for that. Let me ask you this, Rodney Perry, since you're the man right now I'm talking to. Do you think Zion's going to end up, with the statement he's making and everything else, you think he's going to end up in the New York Knicks? Because soon, if they keep winning like this, New York will be the destination for people to want to go to. What you think? You think Zion?
Zion to the Knicks. I mean, the guy. I mean, despite all the disparaging word I said about him, I was thinking about him this weekend. The guy is just really showing up, man. I mean, you know, he's built like your favorite auntie, but he may end up in a Nick jersey or in a Tyler Perry movie.
Or both. or both.
Yo, you crazy, yo. Y'all crazy as hell, man. I think he might end up in New York. You know what I mean? We might be in New York. So we wanted him the first time. We didn't get him. So the second time around is only right that he come to New York, become a Knickerbocker. You know, New York fans, the Knicks fans, we looking for that.
Honestly, I got to be honest with you. I think he wanted to go to New York from jump. That's what I think. Fig, what you think?
I really believe, listen, I don't know if you guys remember, but earlier in the year after the draft, I said, do not be surprised if the first opportunity Zion gets to get out of New Orleans, that he will become a New York Knick. He loves Madison Square Garden. He loves New York. That is the place where he said, when he said, well, hey, you know, when you get drafted, what is the one place that you would like to go? He did say New York. This interview that he just had after playing in the Garden, this was his first time as an NBA player having an opportunity to play at the Garden. He said that he was just beaming, man. If you look at his face in his interview, he was lit up like a Roman candle, man. He loves playing at the Garden in New York. If he gets an opportunity to go, I believe that Zion Williamson will end up in New York playing at the Garden.
I think he's out too. The other big topic over the weekend, this morning when I woke up, you know, I always check out the MVP board and see what people are talking about, especially the sports writers, because the sports writers basically vote you in for MVP conversation. Now, we went from the beginning of the year to James Harden, then we went to Joel Embiid, and now they're trying to make a push for Steph Curry. So I'm going to ask you, Talon, do you think Golden State should be literally have Steph Curry up for MVP? Do you think that's fair?
The who?
Steph Curry for MVP.
Well, I think Steph Curry is like, when you're talking about Steph Curry and being making his thing, I would say he's in the argument because of, you see what he got. You see what he got to work with and what he got to do. And he's been putting in that work consecutively, game after game after game after game. So yeah, in that essence, you know what I mean? In that essence, I see, yeah, he should be in that argument MVP.
All right, okay. Fig, do you think Steph Curry should be MVP?
You know what? Steph Curry does not have a lot to work with, man. But I just pulled up the standings. They're number 9. And you know, look, this is just my opinion. I always say that you got to win. You know what I mean? You to be most valuable, you got to win something. And if they don't make it into at least the very least the top 8, I can't imagine you being in consideration. Now, Steph Curry is balling out. He's clearly one of my favorite players of all time, and he's balling out at a supremely high level for what he has to work with. But MVP, no, I can't give it to him. I would like to, but I just can't.
Now, Rodney Perry,
you wouldn't give it to him at all?
And not because of their record. Their record is they're in 9th place. They literally have a losing record. They're 28 wins and 29 losses.
Rodney Perry,
they lost more than they win.
I mean, we like Steph Curry. He's a great guy. He's a knockdown shooter. He's putting up 50-point games. But like Fig said, they're losing. You're not going to be the MVP losing games like that. Your job as the most valuable player of a team in the NBA is to win games, not score points, win games. As long as you are not winning games, you're going to sit your little light-skinned stuff down over there for a little while. And they're going to give it to somebody that's not only playing, but they're winning. Maybe Jokovic is at the top of the list right now.
You know, the funny thing is that goes along with the argument I've been saying forever, because the MVP always is announced given to teams that are winning and at least number 1 in the standings. And if they do that this year, to me, I'll be like, you know what, the MVP award means nothing because Jordan should have won. I mean, you go down the list of years of athletes who were winning. They were playing great basketball, but they were on losing teams. Right now, as Fig just said, the stats right now, Golden State is a losing team. right? Even though he's carrying them from half the
Yeah,
win.
but I
They may
mean,
not
but
even make the playoffs.
so now we're going back to the same argument of we had before, time and time again. You know what I
Exactly.
mean? Are we talking about a most valuable player, or are we just talking about is your team winning or losing?
Exactly my point. You're making my point. Exactly my point.
But right now, according to the standings,
hold on, Fig. Hold on, Fig. Rodney was talking. Go ahead, Rodney.
No, I'm sorry, Fig. What I was about to say is that to be the most valuable player in the NBA, you need to be the most valuable player on a winning team. I think that's the criteria. But you hear LeBron talked about it last. He complained about it. You hear other players complain about it. That it changes every decade or so. It kind of changes what it is, and so that's just what it is now. That might change. We don't know. I'm sorry. Go ahead, Fig.
Fig.
no, look, to tell you the truth, I like Joel Embiid, man. I mean, Joel Embiid has the numbers, and his team is in first place. I know he missed a couple of games due to injury, but I think he came back, and I think if he plays the rest of this season out, without missing any games, and the 76ers stay where they are in the standings, I think it clearly goes to Joel Embiid, because every time he's on the court, he is literally dominating every single game that they play, inside, outside, rebounds, block shots, like he's doing everything for his team. I would give it to Joel Embiid right now as it stands.
But hold on, are we still factoring in games played, games missed, or no?
No, I think he played
I
enough.
think so.
I don't think he missed enough to disqualify him.
Yeah, he played in all the games, and Joel Embiid, like Fig said, not only that, should he be MVP, he should be one of the whatever the award is for turned around, in one season, because he wasn't even thought of MVP candidate last season. This season,
You talking about most improved player?
Hey, thank you, most improved player. He should be most improved.
But he was still an all-star last year.
I'm not talking about he wasn't an all-star. I'm talking about most improved from where he was last year.
A guy that's most improved was a piece of shit, and now he's an all-star. You can't make an all-star.
That might be Julius Randle this year, most improved.
Yeah.
Here goes the other.
We might go in
Who would you
defensive
like to see
too.
get the MVP?
All right, go ahead,
That's a
Rodney.
good question.
I said, who would you like to see? I would like to see Dame get it.
Most improved?
No, I would like to see Dame get the MVP.
I agree with that.
I would love to see him get that, man.
Yeah, but again, you know how the NBA does. NBA gives it to people who are on their teams. You got to be the number one. You got to be number one. I mean, that's just the way it is. Let me ask you this: since we're talking about teams to turn around things, I'm gonna start with you, Talent. Playoff Rondo is playing like playoff Rondo in the middle of the season, and we said this before. Well, at least we mentioned it. If Rondo comes to the Clippers and he gets to what he's doing, the Clippers could make some shocking moves. I'm still sticking with that. Are you changing your position on the Clippers right now, Talent, with the way Rondo's playing?
No, I mean, I think we expect this from Rondo. I think, to be honest with you, that's the first thing we talked about when we heard that he was going over there. Everybody was like, oh, they're going to get playoff Rondo, floor general. They need that because these two guys are not really the ball carriers per se. They work better off the ball. So Rondo, we knew was going to be that great addition. Now, did I think he would kick in playoff Rondo this early? Absolutely not. So kudos to him. I think they're good money. I think he's the answer.
Okay. Fig, you think Rondo's the answer that the Clippers needed?
If he stays healthy and the rest of the team can stay healthy, I think the Clippers will go far. I think they are the one team that can honestly push the Lakers to the brink if the Lakers are 100% healthy. I believe the Clippers are the one team that could push the Lakers to the brink because of the way that they're built and the matchups. I think they have the perfect matchup to go against the Lakers and give them the most problems because of how their squad is put together.
Yeah, but Rodney Perry.
I mean, I love Rondo. I mean, Rondo is one of those guys. He's always a difference maker, he's a change maker. He's given the Clippers some heart. Like you got a lot of good players, but the team kind of lacked a little heart to me. And now they look even scrappier. They look, he give them what Patrick Beverly give them, but he back it up too on the court. Like Beverly was always a little inconsistent to me. But now Rondo, the only thing you fear with him starting so early is can he keep it up? Can playoff Rondo last to the playoffs? That's what we got to worry about.
Yeah, I can't dispute with anything y'all said.
You
I
know
gotta
what?
move on to the NFL.
Frank, let
While
me
we
just say
still got-
one thing in closing. The Clippers have 3 disruptors. They got the Morris brother. He's a disruptor. They got Patrick Beverly. And we know that Rondo is a disruptor. That's 3 disruptors, man. That's a problem for any team meeting them in the playoffs.
Yeah, so in the NFL, let me talk about real fast. Trey Lance he announced he's having a second pro day. And when he said that the 49ers and Pats, the Patriots, the Broncos, and the Falcons have all listed they're going to be there. Now, here's the huge news. Everybody now is saying Trey Lance is climbing up in the board and everything else, and he really doesn't deserve to have a second pro day. Now, my question to you, Talon, is this kid is supposed to be phenomenal. He's supposed to be lights out. The 49ers got the 3rd pick. Do you think the 49ers should get him, Justin Fields, Mac Jones? Who do you think they should get, since we're talking about the 49ers right now and Trey Lance having his second pro day? What do you think?
I think Justin Fields is a perfect pick. This guy, does he deserve? That's open to interpretation. Does he deserve a second, day? But yeah, I think Justin Fields. When I look at the 49ers, I think that's the route and avenue in their best interest.
All right, Fig, what's your thoughts?
I think Trey Lance, if I'm not mistaken, I believe that Trey Lance dropped in the standings because of COVID. Because prior to COVID and they were playing, this kid was projected to go number 1, if I'm not mistaken. And I don't think that he lost any talent or any of his ability. And they really had one exhibition game, which didn't really go that well for him during the COVID season. They didn't really get an opportunity to play. So if you think about it, he's probably been out of competitive football with the exception of one game for like almost 2 years. Anybody that gets this kid is possibly going to get a steal. He'll probably be the steal of the draft because of his talent and his ability as a QB. And the fact that he hasn't played in the last couple of years, I think he would probably be a sleeper.
Yeah, I think so too. I think everything you said is correct. Rodney Perry, your thoughts?
I mean, I've been watching this kid, man. I like him. He looked like he could be one of Will Smith's children. 6 feet 4 inches tall, 227 pounds, out of North Dakota State. Man, the guy is just good. And the question is, will he change the draft? Absolutely. You got to take a legitimate look. If you got any quarterback needs you want to address, you got to take a look at this guy. You got to tell your other, like, hold on, let me. Okay. Let me holler at you, Trey. Especially the 49ers. They don't know what the hell they're doing over there. Garoppolo.
So Rodney, are you trying to say that Jada Pinkett Smith had another entanglement that we don't know nothing about?
He kind of look like Tupac too. He got a favorite Tupac.
I will say this. I'll say this for the record. I think 2 years from now, we're going to be talking about this draft because Trey Lance is being overlooked and Justin Fields is not getting the love he should be getting. That's what I'm going to say that. For right now, 2 years from now, we have this. We circle back. This is going to be one of those drafts, like how we did 2 years ago with the Baltimore Ravens QB. Everybody looked over Lamar Jackson, man, and now if they could draft it all over again, he'd be 1 or 2 in the draft. You know what I mean? So,
right.
Yeah, that's just the way it is.
But you also had the Bears pass on. No, I'm sorry.
that's a Bears fan right there. Let me I don't know if you all caught the news on Deshaun Watson over the weekend, but some breaking news on Deshaun Watson happened. I saw Saturday. 5 of the accusers who are initially accusing Deshaun Watson have gone to the Houston police to try to press criminal charges. And I'm not sure if that's a ploy. I think it's a ploy. I'm gonna start with you, Talon. I think it's a ploy to put pressure on his civil case, but that's just my opinion. What do you think when you hear that 5 of the accusers who've already stepped up to the plate are trying to get criminal charges pressed on Deshaun Watson? What do you think, Talon?
Well, I think they put the pressure on the accusers to do this. Like you said, it's a ploy. It's a combat ploy from the few accusers who have recused or stepped away from their allegations. So it's a balance of power going on right now. So I'm like you. I think it's a ploy, definitely.
I think so too. Fig, 60 seconds. Go.
Man, I think it's crazy, man, because you got a better chance of winning a civil case than you do a criminal case. A criminal case is just to put pressure on you. I don't think the criminal case is going to do anything. Criminal case, you have to. It just the burden of proof is more in a criminal case. So I think they're just spinning their wheels.
I think so too, because in a criminal case, you got to get 12 people on the jury to all agree. It's not like 5 out of you. You got to have 10 of 12 people agree. Rodney Perry, what's your thought? 60 seconds.
Man, I was on the ground in Houston this weekend. I'm talking to the people, asking them what they're really hearing. And everybody I talked to was like, yo, this feels like they're railroading the guy. None of this was out until he said he wanted out. And so the people on the ground in Houston are like, everybody look a little skeptical, no matter what it is about this case.
Yeah, I'd have to agree on that. And if you were in Houston, I'm sure you're telling everybody like it is and everything else. So we all know what real people are thinking out there too. That's the show. We got to get ready to wrap up out of here. Tyler, can you please tell everybody out there how they can follow you?
Hey, man, it's Motivation Monday, so 6 o'clock, WEMSradio.com, WEMS radio.com, 6 o'clock. I got your Motivation Monday. Holla at your boy.
There you go, Fig. Tell everybody out there how they can follow you. And not
yeah, you're good at MSG because I'll be watching the next. Nah, you can follow me on all social media platforms at Comedian Fig. And I'll tell you one thing, baby. Monday through Friday, 1 to 2 p.m., I'm on the box seats, the best damn sports show on TV.
There you go. Rodney Perry, talk to me.
RodneyPerry.com is the website. Rodney Perry live on all social media. Got a couple of movies coming down the pipe. I'll tell you about it. Stay with me, man. We about to do some big stuff.
There it is. Yo, the show's called The Box Seats. The channel's called The Humor Mill. We on every Monday through Friday, 1 to 2. We'll see y'all tomorrow. I got to thank Rodney Perry for joining the show, Talent for joining the show, Fake for joining the show. We'll see y'all back. Same bad time tomorrow. Same bad channel. Y'all take care.